Live from Washington is Daniel Lippman. He's a White House reporter for Politico. Look, Trump loves talking a big game on tariffs, so this was more or less expected, wasn't it?
It was, but it's still major news given that it could raise prices for a lot of Americans buying goods from Canada, Mexico, and China. And it is ironic if he goes forward with this at the levels he's proposed, given that he won election based on inflation happening during the Biden administration. And economists are very worried that these tariffs could increase inflation grievously and not actually get anything in return in terms of lower tariffs from those countries.
Of course, the tariffs can't actually lower prices on American goods, but they can make American products more attractive to buyers within the US. Wouldn't that be beneficial for American manufacturers, for example?
Well, it would be, but the issue is that so many goods are made overseas. With globalization, you can't really turn back the clock that much. And so America's not just an island, but this is something that he has promised to his voters. And he has a Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, who has kind of sent mixed messages. He has said, let's use tariffs in a strategic way, almost as a negotiating, a bargaining chip to try to get a better deal with Canada, Mexico, and China and other countries. And so we'll see if he's actually going to go forward with this on day one or leave some more room for negotiation and more time to cut a better trade deal. What's ironic is that if he did go through these tariffs, he would be violating the USMCA, which is the free trade agreement that he negotiated with Mexico and Canada, him during the first administration.
Yeah, I guess if you have a free trade agreement where no one is paying tariffs, can you get a cheaper deal than that?
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be a tough pickle. But Trump has long been a big fan of tariffs, and also he's been very concerned about the trade deficit. And people have to explain to him that it's not like a budget deficit where you're losing money every month. And so there's a lot of Americans who may feel like, hey, they like getting those cheap goods at Walmart and other big box stores.
Yeah, you mentioned consumers there. Obviously, you're a White House reporter, so you focus a lot on what goes on Capitol Hill. Do you feel like the American public and Trump voters have fully understood all of the implications of what tariffs would mean for them and for their back pocket?
Most Americans are focused on getting their kids to soccer practice and paying their own bills. They're not reading economic white papers. And so I think that many Americans haven't really dialed into that. They don't want their prices to rise. But there's also a feeling among many Americans that free trade has not really been a great bargain and deal for America, that we've seen millions of people lose their manufacturing jobs across the heartland to cheaper goods from overseas and outsourcing. And so that has led to lots of resentment among Americans who have felt that their quality of life, their living standards have gone down because of China and other countries rising at the expense of America.
All right, Daniel Lippman, we'll have to wait and see what happens come January. Thank you so much for joining us on TRT World.